Why does the green light lose its power the moment Gatsby gets closer to Daisy? If the light were simply a symbol of hope, it should grow stronger as Gatsby approaches what he wants. Instead, it does the opposite. The closer he gets, the smaller it becomes. That is the paradox. The usual reading is straightforward. The green light stands for Gatsby's longing for Daisy, and by extension for the American dream itself. That reading is true, but not yet interesting. It names the symbol without explaining its mechanism. The question is not just what the light means. The question is why Fitzgerald places Gatsby's desire at such a distance, across water, in darkness, reduced to a point of color. Because the green light does something crucial to Daisy before Gatsby ever reaches her. It converts a person into an idea. As long as Daisy remains far away, she can be purified into a symbol. Not a woman with a voice, a history, a husband, a child, and limits, but a perfect object of projection. The light protects that projection. It strips away detail. It leaves only color, distance, signal. Gatsby does not have to love Daisy as she is. He only has to keep reaching toward what she represents. That is the structure of his desire. He is not pursuing reality. He is pursuing a version of reality that has been made safe for fantasy. And distance is not an obstacle to that fantasy. Distance is what makes it possible. We usually talk about desire as if it wants nearness, contact, fulfillment. But Gatsby's desire works by postponement. The light has power because it remains across the bay, visible, constant, unattainable. Its remoteness allows Gatsby to preserve Daisy in symbolic form. She can continue to mean social legitimacy, old money, and the fantasy that time can be reversed. She can continue to hold together a dream that reality would immediately damage, which is exactly why the symbol collapses after their reunion. Once Daisy is physically present, the green light no longer has to carry Gatsby's projections. Fitzgerald makes the demystification almost brutal. It had now become a green light on a dock. The sentence does not just reduce the symbol. It exposes the fraudulence of symbolic desire itself. Nothing mystical has happened to the object. What has changed is Gatsby's ability to use it. That is why this is not a scene of romantic fulfillment. It is a scene of symbolic failure. The green light matters only while Daisy is unavailable enough to remain unreal. The moment she becomes available, the distance that sustained the dream begins to vanish, and with it, the dream's intensity. Gatsby does not merely want Daisy. He needs Daisy to remain just unreal enough to support the fiction he has built around her. So the tragedy is deeper than disappointed love. Gatsby's desire depends on not seeing clearly. The light is the instrument of that misseeing. Seen this way, the bay matters as much as the color. The water separating Gatsby from Daisy is not only romantic scenery. It is a boundary. On one side stands Gatsby's invented self, with all its money, performance, and spectacle. On the other stands the world Daisy belongs to. Inherited ease, old wealth, social legitimacy. Gatsby can approach that world. He can imitate its surfaces. But he cannot erase the distance that gives the light its meaning in the first place. The light tells him where he is not. That is why its greenness matters too. Green is money, certainly, but it's also the color of go. It signals movement. It tells you that moving forward will lead somewhere. The light seems to authorize Gatsby's pursuit. It presents desire as movement toward a future reward. But Gatsby's movement is not really forward. His dream is structured as return. He wants not to create a new life, but to recover an old one, to repeat the past. The green light disguises repetition as progress. It looks like the future. It is really a loop. And that may be the novel's cruelest insight. The dream stays where it is. The dreamer exhausts himself approaching it. By the end, the green light becomes larger than Gatsby because it reveals a whole structure of belief. We imagine fulfillment as something waiting just beyond the visible edge of our lives. We assign meaning to distance. We mistake abstraction for depth. We protect our desires by keeping their objects slightly out of focus, where they remain perfect, untouched, and immune to contradiction. The green light is not powerful because it contains meaning. It is powerful because Gatsby can pour meaning into it. And that is why it must fade. The moment he sees too clearly, the mechanism breaks. Daisy becomes Daisy. The symbol becomes a lamp. The dream loses the very distortion that kept it alive. The green light is not just what Gatsby longs for. It is the form his longing takes when reality would be unbearable.